Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome to GoldenEye 007, starring 007 James Bond, Natalia Semyonova, 006 Alec Trevelyan, also featuring Janus operative Xenia Onatop, General Arkady Yerumov, Boris Grishenko, ex-KGB agent Valentin Sukovsky, and Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin. Welcome everybody to James Bond GoldenEye 007, a very famous game by Rareware that laid the foundation for first-person shooter games as we know them today. This was actually the very first one. Shooting games were not an uncommon thing back in the day. This was the first one that came up with the idea to actually create first-person while shooting. Something that actually suits it very well. Looking through the person that's actually doing the shooting and therefore having a perfect overview whenever going through the stages, doing your shooting is something that worked out really well. And nowadays we know shooting games, most of all the first person shooting games, the FPS, is one of the most famous genres in video games ever. Now let's go take a look at the game that actually laid the foundation for that. Based on the famous James Bond movie from the 90s, GoldenEye. A lot of people actually may not know this, but video games is not my only hobby. There's one other big thing in media that I actually also follow a lot, and that is movies. If that was not obvious from the previous project I did, Gex Enter the Gecko. But James Bond is actually one of my favorite type of movies. I've always been a big fan of James Bond, and therefore, the moment I found out this game existed, and especially because it was made by Rare, a company that I actually really love, as you may know, I thought this is a must-buy for me. There was no way I was going to skip out on this game, even though first-person shooting games are not really my kind of thing, normally. But this one had to be an exception. This game is cultural heritage, in all honesty. Not just because of being James Bond, but also because of the foundation it laid for the later, very famous FPS genre in gaming. Welcome to the main menu. This is basically our file select screen. We have some confidential documents here, functioning as our save files, you might say. Whenever we enter them, we find out there's two ways to play. Single player mode, which is called select mission, going through the story, and there's multiplayer. Multiplayer obviously being an aspect I'm not going to be covering in this Let's Play. This Let's Play is going to focus on the main story and the main missions James Bond is going through. And these are the 20 missions we are going to do. 19 of them are locked by now. Of course, we first need to clear the first stage. But there are going to be 20 stages in this game to go through. And once we enter a mission, we find out there are 3 difficulties to play on. Agent, Secret Agent and 00 Agent. These function as the difficulties in this game. In order to clear the full game, we obviously need to go beat the stage on the highest difficulty. But you can also play it on lower difficulties. Whenever playing on Agent, the enemy soldiers will do less damage and there's also less missions for you to clear. As you can see, in Agent, the lowest difficulty, we actually only have 1 objective to complete. Sounds pretty easy. If we go to Secret Agent, we find out we actually need to do a little bit more. Here we also need to neutralize all the alarms. And that's going to be the most important difference in the different difficulties. You get more missions, the harder things become. For the Let's Play's sake, and also because of the fact that I want to clear this game 100%, I'm going to be playing it on the highest difficulty, 00 Agent, where there's actually 4 missions to take a look at. Besides the alarms and the bungee jumping, we also need to install a covered modem and intercept some data backup, which is all placed out of context right now. We have no idea what we need to do yet, but that will be remedied because the moment we go into the mission, by selecting this option, next, we can actually also find some background information about what we're doing. Like this. MI6 has confirmed the existence of a secret chemical warfare facility at the Belomorye Dam in the Soviet Union. Its heavily guarded location and workings are the cause for major concern. Nerve gas produced there has been turning up in the hands of hostile regimes around the world, and deals with international terrorists have been rumored. This facility should be destroyed with extreme prejudice. So that is what we're doing. M-briefing, which is a message from our boss, you might say. The area around the dam is well defended against a full-scale military attack, but the lone agent stands a much better chance. The easiest way to gain entrance to the weapons factory will be to get down the face of the dam. And Q had an idea about that. He also has some briefing. Information concerning shipping and contacts is stored on a computer system in a secret ops room within the dam. With this covered modem connected to their satellite link, we can intercept the data when a backup is carried out. As for getting down the dam, use the bungee rope. At the bottom of the jump, use the Python gun. Simple. And finally, a message from Moneypenny. Hardly a lover's leap, James. Be careful though. I hate to think of you falling for anyone else. Moneypenny, being the receptionist of MI6, always has a crush on James. Let's make sure not to die indeed. Let's keep Moneypenny satisfied. And that is what we're doing. After all the background information, it's time to finally start playing. Let's infiltrate this weapons factory here in Arkangelsk in the Soviet Union. This all takes place 9 years ago. Well, this is where we start the story. Welcome to the very first-person shooter, where we look through the eyes of James Bond himself. First we're going to look at his watch. Let's go over the pause menu first. Here we can actually see a multitude of options. Here on this first screen we can actually go out of the mission. We can select abort in order to go back to the main menu if we are tired of this mission. In the second screen we can actually select our weapon. Currently we only have a PP7 in silenced form. And the covered modem that we need to use in order to intercept the data in a later mission. That's all we're carrying right now. The third option is for the controls. There's a lot of different ways you can actually play this game. All of the different control styles are actually named after typical James Bond-like things like Honey and Kissy and Solitaire. Good night. But because I'm used to it, I think Honey is the best way to play for me. Here you can actually see what the button layouts are. The fourth screen is actually used for the main options. Here we can actually adjust the volume of the music and the sound effects. And other basic things like the Y-axis, how the aiming works in this game, the auto adjustment of the character, which should all be on in order to make it easy. But the most important option is the fact that we can actually set this game to 16:9 aspect ratio, which is something I really love, so allow me to put that on. And the final screen is a summary of all of our missions and whether they are complete or not. Ah, this looks a lot better. 16:9 aspect ratio. Just the way I like my videos. Now, let's go talk about the gameplay itself. We can shoot our gun by pressing Z. Okay, this guy noticed he got shot. So he's gonna go after us, and the moment we shoot him down, he dies. In a pretty gruesome way, in all honesty. But more importantly, he dropped his weapon, giving us a new type of weapon. This is actually a semi-automatic weapon, and therefore a lot better than our old PP7. We can actually press R in this game to aim with a crosshair. Oh, don't go in my way. I was aiming for this guy. This way you can actually make the aiming a little bit better. Downside is you have to stand still in order to aim with your crosshair, and therefore you're a little bit more open yourself as well. However, if you think aiming with this semi-automatic weapon is not enough, we can actually find a sniper rifle in this watchtower over here. And sniper rifles are the ultimate weapons for aiming. Pressing up on the D-pad will allow us to go very far with zooming here. So we can shoot enemies from very far away this way. We obviously want to shoot them in the head in order to take them out in one hit. Headshots, always a traditional thing in shooting games. Headshots are always a one-hit kill. And another funny thing, if you actually have a sniper rifle, the unarmed option, where you actually attack enemies melee-wise, also becomes the sniper rifle. You can actually use the back of the sniper rifle to hit enemies. Also pretty funny. It's only recommended to use the moment you're out of bullets, because otherwise just shooting your guns is way better, of course. You guys can't aim from all the way back there. You don't have a sniper rifle, but I do. Even though I can't aim either. Yeah, the controller I'm using is not really that great in all honesty, so... There are even very large groups of people who claim that first-person shooters can't be played on consoles. The analog stick is never as accurate as the mouse and the keyboard are. First-person shooting games should always be played on PC. People always claim. Okay. And I can kinda imagine where they are coming from, because indeed, whenever playing on consoles, aiming is always a pretty big issue for me. Always make sure to pick up the weapons enemies drop. Oh, speaking of which, you can actually also open crates in this game, that you find lying around here and there. As you can see, they sometimes always contain ammo, or sometimes even new weapons entirely, which is always a good thing to look around for. Okay, whenever this door opens up, be prepared to actually chase this soldier, and you don't interfere. Because this soldier is actually going to try to raise the alarm. There's an alarm right over here, and he's trying to go for it. And the moment he's able to activate it, you will get swarmed by enemy soldiers, so be careful. Oh, and it looks like we made a little bit too much noise. Ooh, here's a high-ranked officer. And he's carrying a new type of gun, so I'm definitely interested in you. Also, remember to actually destroy this alarm. It's one of the missions. Don't forget about our missions. Anything else in here? No. Looks clean. Let's go take care of our first mission. Here we can actually find a computer screen, which is actually attached to a broadcasting dish. And this is actually where we want to place our covered modem, in order to intercept the data the moment a backup starts happening. So we can actually read what they are doing here. Oh, and I almost missed it. But it counts, luckily. Let's go play around with our new weapon for a moment. Let's shoot this lock so we can open the gate and actually enter the dam. Don't forget, we were busy on a dam officially in this stage. And here we actually reached the dam. Also a couple of enemy guard towers here, so make sure to take them out. Because there's also some alarms here to take care of. But I obviously don't want any interference, so you are going to die. Here's the second alarm. Thank you. Also be careful, if you make too much noise here, there's also some soldiers at the lower area. And as you can see, they will come running towards you the moment they hear some noise. You can always just use your silent pistol, which is also still an option of course, if you're willing to play stealthily. But we are not Solid Snake here, we are James Bond. We're not going to play stealthily. My type of James Bond is the action type hero. He plays aggressively. He does not care if he makes too much noise. He simply shoots everybody down who comes running towards him. That is my type of James Bond. Okay, somebody did come up there, but apparently he did not see where I went, so... He was just standing still because he lost me. Stupid AIs. Boom, headshot. Thank you, sniper rifle. Here's the final alarm in the stage. There's 4 of them in total. Objective A completed, as you can see. Now let's go take a look down here. There's still that database we're looking for, after all. For mission C, which we can actually find in the interior part of the dam. But before we go in there, there's actually something I'd like to point out. Cameo related. Some sort of Easter egg, you might say. If you go all the way here and take a look through our sniper rifle at the other end of the dam's lake, we can actually find another guardhouse all the way at the other end. There's no way to reach it, but it is a pretty famous thing in this game because people have been trying to reach that place for years. Just the fact that Rare actually bothered to create something there is something that makes people paranoid. Fun to point out, I think. The soldiers down here actually have armor occasionally, so sometimes you need a little bit more shots before they actually start getting hurt. Yeah, like you see over here, the first 2 shots didn't hurt them yet, indicating that these soldiers actually have some armor. A little bit more difficult to take out. Couldn't quite get to your head, so a couple of shots in your arm will also kill you eventually. Come on. He's pretty far away, and all of the soldiers in between aren't even responding to the shooting. Interesting. Oh. Let's not do too many at once. And here's another one. Let's make this fight a little bit more short range. Let's go for my semi-automatic. There we go. Okay, I lost some cover here, so need to come in guns blazing. There we are. Let's see if I can actually finish this stage without getting hit a single time. We have not been able to see how the damage works in this game, but hopefully I don't have to explain that in this first stage yet. This first stage is by far the easiest one, of course, so if there's one stage I'm able to do without getting hit, it should be this one. So far we're doing fine. A little bit risky, but I don't think I need cover from this far away. There we go. Hi there. You guys have a visitor. Oh, there's a lot of people here. A little bit too many. Okay, I finally get hit. As you can see, there are 8 bars of health. And once they run out, you die. That's basically how the health works in this game. We're allowed to get hit 8 times with normal weapons. On lower difficulties, obviously, the damage will be a little bit less the moment you get hit. But looks like we are here, so let's go initiate this backup. So MI6 can read what these guys are doing. And in the meantime, we can already leave. You don't have to wait for this. It goes automatically. Backup completed. And because of our modem, MI6 now has all their data. We can now finally find out what they are doing at this chemical weapon facility, which is below the dam apparently. Something we need to reach by bungee jumping. So let's go find a way to actually jump off the dam. Let's go practice my melee attacks in the meantime by waving the sniper rifle in mid-air. And here we can actually find an opening in the dam. The facility is down below. Don't get scared now. You know how it works. Just don't look down and step off. And the first mission has been completed. The moment you've finished the mission, you will get a cutscene. If not all of the missions are completed, you will not get a cutscene. And you will immediately move on to the tally up screen. And that will say to you, you failed the mission. You're going to bungee jump our way down here. But I do love how in the cutscene it looks like James Bond is just jumping freely. Mission complete. We also get some statistics the moment we are done. The time we actually needed in order to beat the stage, our accuracy, how many of our shots actually hit target, which weapon we used the most, and the number of shots, kills, and where we actually shot people. Not very important, but still pretty fun to look at. The moment we beat the first stage, we actually unlock the second one, obviously. As you can see, the moment you beat a stage on a certain difficulty, it will automatically also count towards the lower difficulties. Beating 00 Agent also gave a check for Agent and Secret Agent. That said, we are still going to play this stage on Secret Agent as well. There's one other aspect that I still need to go over. That is pretty important when it comes to 100%ing this game. And for that, we actually need to speedrun this stage on Secret Agent. Every single stage in this game, I'm not just going to beat normally, I'm also going to speedrun it on a certain difficulty. It's going to be a different difficulty for every single stage. But for true 100%, you're going to want to play every single stage as a speedrun as well. And the moment I'm done, I will show you off why we're doing this. Oh, door's already opening. Thank you. Here's a speedrun for you. Remember, even on Secret Agent we need to destroy all of the alarms. It's luckily the only thing we have to do now, so this modem we can actually skip. Make sure you guys don't interfere. I'm out of ammo for my big gun, so I have to use the pistols again. Tried to close the gate, but did not work out, so hopefully these guys are going to stay away from me. I'm not exactly too sure what the required time is, but there is actually a certain time limit we're going for. You can see this as a time attack of sorts, you might say. But I'm pretty sure in this first stage, the time we need to beat is not very strict. So I should be able to do this first try. There's 3, one more. They are shooting at me, but they're really far away, so I'm not too worried about them. So run our way towards the final watchtower, where the final alarm is. Let's put it on. Hey, there's nothing forbidding us to actually put it on. The moment the guards will come in, I will be long gone. I'm not going to care. It's a secret agent after all, so the damage we take is going to be a little bit less. I doubt they're able to kill me before I jump off here. But they can hinder me to actually get onto it. There we go. That was the first stage again, this time as a speed run. You can skip the cutscene, you already saw that. Now let's go see why I actually did this. We completed all of our missions, but this time we actually did it fast. As you can see, there's a target time here, which is set to 2:40, and the moment you beat that, the game will say new cheat available. And this game actually has cheats to unlock, and cheats to play around with. The cheats I'm going to cover in the bonus content. However, in this quote-unquote main part of the project, I will unlock them. Now we have a third option in the main menu, cheat options. The moment the first cheat unlocks, we can actually also play this game with cheats. Just remember, while cheating, you're not allowed to actually complete stages. You can play them, but beating them with cheats won't count. I will not be going over the cheats for this reason quite yet, but eventually we will. But I will start unlocking them while we go through all the missions. This has been the introduction, and this has been the first mission, and this has been GoldenEye 007. I hope you people enjoy this game. It's a little bit of a different genre than what you're used from me, but it is still a Nintendo game, and it is still by Rare. And therefore it's pretty fun to go through. James Bond, GoldenEye 007 has begun. Foundation of the FPS genre. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time when we continue. Treecks out!